Taking all listeners, please make your way to the gate and prepare for a broadcast.
Everything's going.
Awesome. Do you want a minute?
Yeah, I am warm right now. I think we should start with that.
Yeah.
I'm warm. Yeah, welcome everyone. There's people walking past. We're in a lovely little town, and it's a fine day to do episode 2 of the podcast.
Episode 2! Of 2!
Woo!
That's 4, yeah. 2.
Oh yeah, true. 2. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, so where are we at the moment, Josh?
We are in, you're setting me up.
Yeah.
We are in Vila Real de Santo António.
Pretty much, yeah.
On the border of Portugal and Spain.
Yeah.
And we're on the Portugal side, so
correct.
welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
A broadcast.
Welcome back.
And I think a few things have changed. We're now rocking the lapel mic.
Yeah, have fun.
For me.
Yeah, the AirPod just wasn't quite doing it, so
yeah.
We've gone with a lapel instead.
And we're rocking a little fan in the corner.
Because it's hot.
Because it's hot.
It's very humid here, yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, but if you see shadows passing by, it's just strangers on the street, because we're facing the street.
Yeah, we're podcasting with a live studio audience.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
I got the top of the show.
Top of the show, and don't even say top of the show. We don't know how podcasts work. But anyway, Sarlé does have.
We've been watching listening to a lot of Hamish and Andy.
Yeah, there have been some bangers lately.
Yeah, there's some really good episodes.
Cannot stop laughing.
But as Hamish and Andy always say, you have to go back to episode 1. So Josh is just gonna start from the start.
Yep.
And then come back up to 229 or whatever that we're on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one to listen to. Passes some good time, but it also distracts you.
Which reminds
me of what I wanted to talk about. So we've had a few travel blunders recently.
Mm-hmm.
The other day we posted on a story about it, but we were catching a train. So we were in Spain. We were going from Ronda to Malaga.
Yeah.
And when we were in, it's like a triangle. We were in Granada the day before, or that was the previous city, which is where we recorded episode 1.
Yes, Granada. We then went to Ronda, which is another small town, and then the third point of the triangle is Malaga, which is where we were going. On the coast.
Beautiful
Malaga.
From Ronda to Malaga, we're catching the trains, right? Quite expensive, like 20 euros per ticket, so it was like 40 euros that we paid. We caught the first train into the center of the triangle, right? So Ronda into the center, and we want to go south to Malaga. We get off the train and we have like 5 minutes to catch our next train. We've pre-bought the tickets. We're like rushing. I hear this guy asking one of the train people, where's the train to Malaga? And it's like Malaga, Maria, Zambrero or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Zambrano or something. I don't know. And the guy's like, Malaga Maria over there, and points at a train that's there. The guy in front of me, who is between me and Josh, we're all walking to this train now.
Yeah.
I ask him, I'm like, where are you going? He's like, oh, Malaga. And I'm like, awesome. This train? He's like, this train. He gets onto the train in front of me, behind Josh.
Yeah.
This is the right train.
Everything is pointing towards Malaga.
It's meant to leave at 2:15. It's 2:15. I'm like, okay, perfect.
We're set.
We're going. And then it leaves and everything, and we have the best hour and a half. It's meant to take 40 minutes to get there. An hour and a half later, the thing comes over the loudspeaker and it's like, you have arrived at Granada. And I look over at Josh, and I immediately my heart drops. I'm like, this is the other apex of the triangle. This is not where we're meant to be. Josh is like, yeah! He's like, so excited to be in Granada. Well, and I'm like, this is wrong.
My mind is not there. My mind's in the podcast of Hamish and Andy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I hear a name.
That's
next
on the
part
list.
Next part of the trip. We're here.
Yeah.
It's go time.
Yeah. And so we arrive and we're like, crap. We are, and I check the location and we're like 3 hours and 45 minutes public transport away from Malaga. And I'm like, we've just been on the train for 3 hours. Both trains add up to 3 hours. And I'm like, I can't. That's so long. And so luckily, I quickly checked BlaBlaCar, and there was a car coming in like 45 minutes. That was perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, sold, done. And we
So-
got on, and it was great, and it was awesome. But yeah, panic. And then second blunder yesterday, we were ready for a BlaBlaCar, and old mate Ricardo just didn't show up. Called him twice, but obviously we cannot speak Spanish, so not sure what he said, but he said his car was white and he said he was coming in 2 minutes. That's all the information that I got.
That's what I could gather from...
Yeah. And 30 minutes passed and he did not arrive. No white car arrived. So I'm like, okay, he's not coming. And so now it's like almost 3 p.m. and there's not many other options, and thankfully Josh found a bus that we could catch.
Yeah.
And 62 years later...
Yeah, 62 euros, and then another bus, a 10 euro bus.
10 euros, so 72 euros, when the BlaBlaCar would have cost us 20.
Yeah, so...
So expensive, but you know what? We made it. And sometimes just paying for that is all you need to just arrive at your place.
I think a big takeaway from this experience, especially the second experience, is like decision making and being able to think on your feet.
Yeah,
realize
quickly
that
decide.
You're never going to have a decision that makes total sense or like that is like the perfect decision. We rocked up at the bus port and entered our tickets, had no idea how much it would be, but we entered one-way ticket to this spot, pops up 62 euros, and I'm like, oh, guess we're not going to go on the bus. And Sarlé
Did you really think
yeah, I was like, well, we'll find another way. And then Sarlé just went, boop, and we paid for it, and
then we ran to the bus because it was like 2:55 and it was leaving at 3.
And who knows, maybe that decision saved us from having to book a night in Seville.
Maybe it did, yeah.
That's
yeah, okay.
But
that's just, quick but not quick start of the show.
Let's just hope that no more blunders
and
happen.
if those are the worst blunders that happen, really not a bad time.
Not a bad time.
Because much worse can happen.
Sarlé, it's my turn to bring a travel tip.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely a travel tip that's close to my heart. My travel tip is an object. It's not a recommendation, it's an object that you should make sure to bring on your next trip.
Invest in.
And it is called a packing cube. I'm sure most people know what a packing cube is.
Sure.
Makes sense. You can usually buy them in a set, and when you're packing for your trip, you chuck all your clothes in the cube, pack it really tightly and zip it up. And it basically allows you to go from a massive suitcase-sized luggage to a backpack like what we're using. Yeah.
It works similarly to like if you have a suitcase that has, like the compartments where you can zip it closed or like strap it closed. It's very similar to that, except for the fact that it's more compact.
Yeah.
Usually smaller, and then you can kind of categorize things a little bit better.
Yeah,
I'm sure people have used them before.
Yeah. No, actually, I disagree because you've used them for a lot longer than I have.
I've used them for years.
I just, for so long, suitcase, I just fold my clothes.
That's a bold-faced lie. Josh doesn't use a suitcase for majority of things.
Yeah.
Up until maybe, I reckon you would still do this if you were still at home, but I bought him a backpack to prevent this happening for his 18th birthday. He will literally go get one of the Coles bags, like one of the green bags.
Woolies bags,
a Woolies bag, and throw everything in there. And if there's no Woolies, reusable green fabric bag available, it will be a plastic bag. Like a weekend away, plastic bag.
Well, if it's a weekend trip, if your backpack is full of other stuff and you need an extra bit of storage, just grab a Woolworths shopping bag, chuck your clothes in there.
I hate it.
It's the same when I...
No.
Okay. Yeah, well. Anyway, so Sarlé got me onto packing cubes.
Yeah.
I've only really used them for this trip, but it's a lifesaver, and it's...
Yeah, and do you want to share what you learned at the very start of the trip?
I went onto Amazon and I bought a set of packing cubes. They're this nice little blue set that I thought would be really cute in my backpack.
Yeah.
Really cool to put on Instagram. They arrived and the quality was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
And to compare, I have a set from Kathmandu,
Mhm.
which I got as a birthday present a while ago, and like they are top quality, like they are really good, and I'm sure that they cost a bit of money, but thankfully I got them as a gift, so I didn't have to pay for it, but like they are so good, and I didn't realize how good they were until Josh got this Amazon set.
So they arrive, and we're getting ready for our trip, so we're
Yeah.
doing a little practice pack.
Pre-pack.
I start doing mine, putting my shirts in, putting my shorts, my pants, and then I go to zip it, and first time I zip it, zip just goes unbuckles immediately.
Yeah.
And it takes me a solid while to get it to the point where it's just about to break, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
But even then, when I unzipped it, the thread had started to like give a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing with my
Yeah.
fingers. But so what we did that same day, I think, is we went to Kathmandu
Yeah.
and went and bought me, I think it was just 2 packing cubes.
Yeah.
And I've still got those today.
Yeah. And you still use one of your blue ones, don't you?
Yeah, the bag one.
Yeah.
That's just for like laundry and stuff.
Yeah.
Does alright.
Does alright, yeah.
But
honestly, packing cubes, you think it's full. It's not full. It can take more. Especially Kathmandu ones. You have to get the good quality.
Mhm.
If you don't get the good quality one, you're pretty much wasting your time with packing cubes.
You're not going to be able to get that level of pressure.
Compressibility.
Yeah.
You can still, like, I used to just use them for organization of your stuff. So you have like a cube for your socks and undies, a cube for t-shirts, a cube for like long sleeves or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you want to get that compressibility and the compactness that you can get in a backpack, it has to be a good quality one. So you can just shove as much as you can in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go and buy a packing cube today and
buy some.
see for yourself.
Yeah. For your next trip, try it out.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Or, Christmas is coming up, depending on when you're listening to this. Chuck it on your Christmas list.
Put it on your list.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Or buy it for a friend or family member that you don't know what to buy for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to mention what today's episode is really about, which is...
how to save for an extended trip. Specifically extended, but this can also apply for any trip, really.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about budgeting and
Budgeting.
saving money, pretty much.
Budgeting. A word so many of us love to hear.
Yeah. I love budgeting. I love it a lot. Josh also really likes it, actually. Right?
Yeah. I've learned to love it, just like I've learned to love packing cubes.
Yeah, yeah. I've taught you some good things.
Yeah.
Marriage is good.
Marriage is good.
But yeah.
That's not what today's episode is about.
No. But I have a little list here.
Oh.
How to save for an extended trip and how to save in general for a trip.
Yeah.
Things that people, because obviously we're traveling for a long time. Neither of us were in extremely high paying jobs.
We were both working full time then.
We were both working full time. Josh was living at home until we got married. And then, after we got married, we were obviously renting together. But we don't have any, I just want to share some tips on how we did it because I think it seems quite out of reach. But I don't think it is for the average income earner.
Yeah.
Especially if you are also a solo traveler, I feel like it could be really easy to save as well because obviously you're only paying for yourself, but also if you are living with more people or living at home, then it is really easy to save.
Yeah, but we want to preface by saying that even though it was easy for us,
it's not easy for everyone.
There are different circumstances that could be causing someone to not be able to save as easily.
Yeah, exactly.
But a budget is always going to be helpful regardless of...
For sure. So these are our tips on how to save for an extended trip. So number 1 is don't look at how much you earn, look at what you're spending the most on. And I think this one's really important for people that are saying, I just don't know where my money goes. I'm using all my money, I can't save any of it. Find out and literally go through your spending account and see, when I first did my budget, I categorized it into I categorized it. So I had food, I had, my main other spending is op shopping. So op shopping, And then you can put like phone bill, internet, that kind of stuff, and then having other things like, I don't know, entertainment, like if you like go to the movies or
subscriptions.
watch shows. Subscriptions is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Put your music in there. Literally find out what you're spending all your money on, and as soon as you see that, you're probably going to be shocked by how much you spend on food.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's the main one for us and for most people, I would say. But if you're spending a crap ton on like shoes or like I don't know, transport or like parking or something like that, it's easy to look at that and be like, okay, maybe I should catch the bus. Maybe I should limit myself to a number of shoes or whatever. But yeah, after you've done that, number 2 is create a budget and put in all of your essential spending. This is things that you can't live without. For example, rent. You need to pay for rent. You need to pay for petrol. You need to pay for food. You could probably cut off on eating out, like going out for dinner.
Yeah, instead of going out for dinner, buying, you know, all your ingredients from Coles or Woolies.
Yeah, and like by creating a budget, you can put a limit on how much you want to spend each week on everything as well. So we had a weekly budget, I think it was weekly, yeah. And like we had a certain amount in it for like going out with friends and stuff and like eating dinner out. And we had that budget in there because it was something that we did all the time and we didn't want to give up on that. Create a budget with all your essential spending. Put that in first. And then number 3, figure out how much you want to spend on a trip so you have a savings goal. Josh put this one in.
Yeah, because setting a budget is one thing, but sticking to it is a whole other thing. And so by having a goal, I think you're setting yourself up to like keep your eyes on something. For example, we would go out, or I'd go out with friends, and then after, you know, whatever we did, we would go get food or go like get some drinks or something. But then while we were saving up for our trip and when we went really hardcore saving mode, it's just like, think about your goal. Like, think any extra money that I save now, I can buy like an extra glass of sangria in Spain or something like that.
Yeah.
Or so we're on a budget of $150 a day. So every $150 I save is an extra day that we can stay traveling.
That's very true. Yeah. So, you can start thinking of it in like weeks and stuff.
Yeah. So
like after you sold your car.
Yeah.
We had an extra week.
Yeah. After I sold my car, we had an extra
week of travel.
Week, which was a weird thing to think about. But
yeah. Figure out, how much you want to spend and work towards it. Okay, number 4, cut off the excess and don't touch your savings. So like Josh was just saying, if you have that goal, if your mates are going out for drinks and stuff, have a pre-round at home. Nah, but like...
Yeah, no, have a pre-drink.
It's not a bad idea. Or if you're going out for dinner and they're like, oh, let's go get ice cream after, maybe don't get ice cream. Maybe save it.
All right.
Maybe save it and have an ice cream at home or something like that. Stuff like that.
Good point.
Cut off whatever you think isn't essential and like try to keep it cut off. And then don't touch your savings.
Yeah.
Number 4 is very important. Don't touch your savings. Unless it's obviously medical emergencies, like your car breaks down, those kinds of things are obviously important. But if you're just out for drinks and your friend's like, let's have a big night, and then you're like going into your savings buying tequila shots, that is not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be worth it.
It's not even there. Just imagine that it's...
And you know what? You need to act like you're poor. Be like, I don't have money for it. Even though you've got maybe $5,000 in your savings or whatever.
Yeah.
Just pretend that it's not there. You don't touch it.
Sarlé believed the lie. She was like...
I believe the lie.
I would say something to her like, oh, it'd be so cool to go here like
I don't
next
have the money
week.
for that.
And she's like, nah, sorry, I just don't have the money.
I just can't afford it.
I know how much money you have. Anyway.
Savings doesn't count as money for spending until you're on your trip.
That's true.
And then have that money for your trip.
Yeah.
And then number 5 is one that we didn't really have to do too badly, which is good. But if you're not saving enough, look at other income streams.
Yeah.
So some options I have here written down is like Uber driving, dog sitting, house sitting, yard work, that kind of stuff. If you have extra
Hop
spare
on.
time and you're trying to save hard,
hop on Marketplace.
Hop on Marketplace.
See if there's things you can sell around the house. That's a big one.
That's a big one. We made a lot of money doing that, actually, which is impressive.
Or alternatively, go on Marketplace and see if there's like listings of people that want,
help with stuff.
Or Airtasker. I think that's a thing.
I was going to say Airtasker's a thing. And then I want to add to this one as well. Look at other income streams, but also look at maybe changing your lifestyle.
Ooh.
Because, and this is obviously tougher to do, but something to look at in general is if you're really not earning enough for your lifestyle, then either you need to think about changing your lifestyle or changing your income. So it's hard to just get more money. Like, it's not easy to find a job that just pays you more. But if you can do that, obviously that's great.
And if you do these things, it's generally because you have a goal of like, I want to travel when in 1 year I want to go on this big trip, or in 2 years or something. And so all these things aren't easy to do, but you're doing it because you want to achieve like a certain goal. So it's not going to be...
It's not going to be fun and it might be fun. It's much more comfortable to stay where you are and keep spending how you're spending and stuff, but these are just tips for if you're interested in saving more.
And that's how we did it. So.
And it's how we did it, because obviously we're not earning income as we travel, so this is how we're able to do it. And I think it's something that everyone could strive towards, like if they wanted to. If you prioritize travel, you'll have the money to do it.
Wherever your priorities are, there your heart will be also.
Is that from the Bible?
That is from the Bible. Anyways. Sarlé, we were just in Seville. Sevilla.
Yeah.
Which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're switching it up from the first episode, where today we're going to go, firstly, how was the accommodation? Secondly, what are some things you can do around the area? Thirdly, what's a food recommendation for in that area as well? So that's the format. Sarlé, why don't you start us off with the accommodation?
Okay, we paid a little bit more for this accommodation because we celebrated Josh's birthday. Yay! While we were there, we found an Airbnb that looked like it was really, really nice. And it was really nice. It was quite a small little house, but we were in an amazing location. We were really close to the cathedral. Everything in Seville is kind of in walking distance, I would say. There's a few things that are like maybe a 20-25 minute walk away.
Yep.
But most of them are quite close to the cathedral. So if you're close to the cathedral, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Would recommend living there. Our accommodation was just through Airbnb. Airbnb was the cheapest from what we could see.
Yep. Well, you just want to get close to the cathedral and depending on what your budget is, you're going to be in a certain point. But there are lots of buses and tram. There's a tram line. There's multiple tram lines. So
we actually didn't use that.
We didn't. But if you're a bit further out, it's no issues.
Yeah.
So I should have written down a few places.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember any of the names. They're all on my phone.
How about this? Instead, we'll share the foods that you should try and have while you're in Seville.
Food and drink to try.
Yeah.
And things to avoid include...
We went on a tapas tour around the little city centre for my birthday, and we heard from our tour guide that apparently sangria and paella are the two things that people want to have when they get to Spain. But in Seville, both of those things are not really local to the area. So, firstly, Iberian ham.
Yeah.
It's
Iberico ham, or Iberico is in Spanish and Iberian is in
English.
And
it's there's different qualities, but you really want to try it if you're a meat eater.
Yeah. Get the black label.
Yeah, the black label is the finest quality, but it can cost about 1,000 euros per leg. So
but you'll just see legs hanging around. There's just legs everywhere.
So that's you have to get used to that. Even in like the supermarket, there's just legs.
Yeah, they're hanging from the ceiling in the bars and stuff, and they have like little drip trays. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
But
But anyway, the ham is good. Another amazing dish that we had, or that I had, was pork sirloin with whiskey sauce.
yeah,
That was really good.
I didn't have any of the pork, but I had some of the whiskey sauce, and they like soak garlic, like whole garlic cloves in this whiskey sauce. It is amazing.
Mm.
We'll put the name of the
place.
in the
Yeah.
comments or in
And
the
then-
description.
And then drinks.
Two drinks to try that I want to recommend. One of them is called Vino de Naranja,
Yep.
which is orange wine. It is so good. If you like sherry or like port, like a sweeter dessert wine, it's really good, but it's a red. It's a red wine, but it's like so delicious.
It's
like
very good.
thick dessert wine, really yummy.
And number 2.
Number 2 is vermouth. You might think it's something that only old men drink, but here they drink it a lot. They have the white wine that they then further fortify
Yep.
with spices and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have them in these like big wooden barrels. And you literally, it's not like I thought it was a spirit
That you like
that you mix, but it's not.
You can have it on the rocks, and it's really nice.
It's nice. It's not that strong. Like it's alcohol, but it's not like it's not like
It's not going to burn
it's not
your
like liquor.
throat. Yeah.
You know.
It's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Run down.
It's really nice, and they have it as an aperitif. So they have it
Mm.
as a drink before they eat.
And then recommendations for what to do in Seville.
Yeah.
I'll go first. The Plaza de España,
Mm.
which is one of a kind, really beautiful spot, a plaza in Seville. That, fun fact, Star Wars Episode 2, when they're on Naboo, that's where it was filmed.
Mm.
So we put, we haven't uploaded it yet, but I've put together a little video of Sarlé recreating some of those Star Wars scenes.
Yeah.
So check that out on our Instagram.
Mm.
Yeah, that one I was most impressed by.
Same. It was incredible, and like the fact that it's just like free and you can just go in.
It's free.
It's like just a big space. It's stunning.
Yeah.
Another thing to see is the cathedral. Even if you don't go in, looking at it from the outside is pretty amazing. And it's the largest Gothic style cathedral in the world.
Mm.
It's massive.
And how expensive was it to go in?
It cost €16 per person with an audio guide, which is quite good. You can climb up the tower. You can see the whole of Seville from like the top of the tower. It's quite nice. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really beautiful city. Just wander around. We do that in every city, but Seville's a nice one to wander in. Lots of shops, lots of H&Ms. 2 to be exact.
2 H&M spots
that we
in
spotted.
Seville.
1 each.
Well, anyway, I think that's a good way to end the episode.
That is a good way to end. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
Catch you in the flip side.
See you next time. Bye.
Next time. Bye.
See ya.